lovers. Thanks for checking in my view. This time I want to talk about 13 Assassins. And I actually was inspired to do this because of a recent video that I just put up. But I not only like this film, I love this film. And I have many reasons why. So bear with me. I'm going to try not to make this too long, but this is just a fabulous film. For those of you who may not be up on it and not know what it's about, let me see, how can I sum this up? The adopted son of the Shogun of the area, he is basically evil incarnate, and I mean that in every sense of the word. He is evil, he is cruel, he is lacking compassion and mercy, and he truly is a sadist. He takes pleasure out of, if he can even experience pleasure, but he just, you know what, and there's nothing worse than an evil person who is rich, who has power, and who is bored, because they have the ability to do whatever they want, and this is what he does. He hurts who he wants, he kills who he wants, he terrorizes who he wants, he takes what he wants, and he has no regrets about it whatsoever, because he feels he's entitled and he can do whatever he wants and no one can say anything about it. And so while doing this, he has created total carnage across the lands, and people are terrified of him. And so what has happened in the beginning, a gentleman who is part of their house, and I honestly, I cannot remember if he was a family member or he was like one of the samurai that served him. And I do believe he was a samurai who served him, by the way. He killed himself, by the way. Yes. So he was a samurai that served him, and he commits harakiri out of protest of him, as well as out of his own shame for having to serve such an evil being, because samurai swear an oath to serve and protect the people as well as their masters. So you come to find out after he commits harakiri that he has gone to the Shogun High Council regarding him and needing to stop everything that he's doing, and no action was ever taken place. And so now they're like, okay, something needs to be done. It just has to be done, because now they have found out that this evil being has been appointed by the Shogun in a high position on the Shogun Council. And by him doing that will allow him the utmost freedom to create carnage across the lands without any jurisdiction getting in the way. And more than not, it will also create war, because right now all the lands are in peace. They've been in peace a long time. So now they're like, he has to go, basically. He has to go. So now the head of the Shogun Council secretly goes in search of this master samurai, who is now a Ronin. Most of the samurai at this point are Ronin, which means they are samurai without a master. Okay, they have no loyalties or commitment to anyone in specific. They don't have a master. So he locates him, he meets with them, he tells them the situation, and he lays down basically the justice that needs to be carried out. This man has to be killed before he gets to his appointment. So before I continue, I'm going to interject by saying a lot of people, well, I don't say a lot, but some people have said, oh, the first half of the movie is slow. Well, no, it's not slow. The movie is like 2 hours long. So you have the first half that is more drama, because it's about the backstory about this evil shogun's son. It's the backstory about each of the assassins, or I should say each of the samurai. And it's about the mission. It's about the espionage, the secret meetings, and the head samurai of the shogun's house who becomes suspicious and starts to believe that something is getting ready to go down. So you need to have that. You can't just get 13 men, plop them on the screen, and then start fighting. You need to understand, one, what the heck is going on. Two, why the mission needs to happen and how it's going to happen. Three, about the men who are going to carry out this mission and all the other people involved. You need to have that, especially for this kind of story. Especially, in my opinion, because having all that knowledge and seeing all that makes you care. It makes you give a damn. It makes you care about, first off, it makes you care about the people who were tortured and slaughtered and maimed because of this evil thing, right? Then it makes you care about the samurai, because each of them have, their loyalties are different. Their reasons for volunteering are different. And each of them are different in age. You have some who are seasoned samurai who have the wisdom, have the skill, who've been in battle before. And then you have the younger samurai who have been living in a world of peace, who have the skill but don't have the field experience. Let's put it like that. So you learn about all of that. You need to know these men and what drives them and their belief system. All of that is important for the unfolding of this story. So no, I don't think it's slow. I think too many now in modern times, everyone is like, the movie starts, they want killing, they want action, they want things exploding, they want body count, they want everything like that from beginning to end. And no, not for this movie. That is out of place for this movie. This is not what this movie needs. And the first half of this film is exactly how it should be. So I found it intriguing, and it builds up the movie to when you get to that pinnacle moment in the film. And when it happens, man, wow. When it starts, it does not stop. And but I'm getting a little ahead of myself, but that's one of the things that I love about it as well. And another thing that I love about it is because, like I said, I grew up loving these kind of films. This film has a feeling and look to it like a samurai movie from the 60s or the 70s. It's like paying homage to those films. So being a fan of those films, I love that. It's a great feel. It's a great fit for that. So that's another reason why I love it. And to quote one of the samurai in the film, when they say, ours is not to understand why. Ours is to obey our fate and die. And that has been adopted by so many modern military, and they phrase it differently now, but that's what it stems from. And that is a basic underlying tone throughout the whole film. That's what it's about: loyalty and honor and duty. Now, what's also interesting, another storyline within the main storyline, are the leader of the samurai assassins and the head samurai of the Shogun house. They were both, they knew each other from kids on up. They were both students at the same dojo, and when they were students, they were like the two best, and they always competed against each other. So now you have that underlying story, and they each have different loyalties for different reasons. You have one who is loyal to a master because he was bought. But even though he was bought, he's still a true samurai in the sense that he believes in an oath when he gives it. And so he has that loyalty and oath to duty. And then you have the other samurai who wholeheartedly believes in his oath as a samurai to serve and protect the people at all costs. So you have that underlying clash throughout the whole film, which is great. Um, Another thing that I love what they deal with in the story is how right and wrong is versus loyalty and duty. And oftentimes they conflict, and then you have to decide which one is more right. Knowing the difference between right and wrong and doing the right thing, or maintaining your loyalty and duty to someone or something. So you deal with that in the story too. Um, so anyway, so what has happened now that further on down the line after they have recruited the assassins, they come up with a plan, and they know that at some point they're going to have to ambush him because the odds are against him. They know on his trip to this town where he's having his meeting, as he's getting ready to get put into his new political post, he has like an entourage of 70 samurai. So they know that they have to fight 70 samurai to get to him in order to kill him. So they have to come up with a plan to level the playing field a little more. So they decide to make the ambush at this town. And basically what they do, they turn the entire town into one giant trap. It is the most amazing thing I've ever seen on film. They literally turn the town into a trap. You have to see it to believe it. It is amazing. Yeah, it's brilliant. It is absolutely brilliant to see. So, not to stretch it out any further, but eventually, you know, the two come toe to toe. And what happens, I love this moment, this one scene when one of the samurai has ventured out to be like a scout looking out for him, because they're not really sure if he's going to head on that road to this town, because the shogun's head samurai has gotten hip to what is going on, and they've diverted their route. So now they're not even certain if they're going to come that way. So they're just being patient and waiting. They're just waiting and waiting and waiting and hoping that he arrives. So the guy comes back and he's like, they're coming, they're coming. And they're like, okay, everyone get ready. And he's like, no. He's like, there are not 70 men. And they're like, what? And he's like, there are 200. And what has happened along the way, because they know that they're out there, along the way they have called for support. So now more samurai from the different regions nearby have come. So now it has gone from 70 enemy to 200. 13 samurai assassins against 200 samurai protectors. Wow. Now what I love about the scene is not just that moment, but I love the fact the samurai the samurai assassins, they're like, okay, they have that moment of shock on their face, and then just that quick they suck it up. And then like one of them basically says, he's like, okay, the bigger the enemy, the greater the death. And they're like, okay. They just move forward. Come on, you have to respect and admire that. They're like, it doesn't change anything. We still have a mission. We still have something we have to accomplish and get done. Because they already knew from the beginning it was a suicide mission. They're like, whatever. You gotta love it. So anyway, it all starts, and I gotta tell you, it is the most magnificently crazy, chaotic thing I've ever seen. I mean, using arrows and bombs and fire and animals and stones and buildings and fists and swords and anything they could think of to tear down their number of the enemy, either like 1 by 1, 5 by 5, 10 by 10, whatever. I mean, it is an amazing thing to see. And what I love about it, they don't make it all pristine and perfect. You know, they keep it real. These guys aren't superhuman. They aren't superheroes. They're just men. So you have chaos, you have confusion, you have fear, you know, blood, sweat, and tears. And I love it that both sides, they are just going to fight to their very last breath because they both believe what they're fighting for. So there are some amazing scenes, amazing moments, and you do feel for them. And this is why you need to have the first half. You feel for them. You are afraid for them. You want every one of them to live, even though you know that's not going to happen. And it's emotional, and it's jaw dropping, and it's like one of the most amazing things I've seen on film. You know, all practical effects, all real men, no CGI people, no CG people, I'm sorry. There may be one little instance there might have been CG, and I'm still questioning that. I don't even think it was. So, I mean, it's phenomenal to see what was done to carry this film out, and it's just, the cinematography is amazing, the camera angles and some of the scenes are wow. They're just so creative. And it adds so much impact to the fighting scenes. And yeah, so basically great acting, great direction, great cinematography, great script, and just an excellent movie. Excellent in its filmmaking, and excellent in its story, and excellent in what they're trying to teach you, in a sense. And 13 Assassins is actually a remake of a film in the 60s, from the 60s, I should say. And I'm not normally big on remakes, but this one was excellent. One of my favorite films. And it actually, for people who don't know, it is based on true events in history, a true event in Japanese history from the 19th century. So there you go. You know, I love it. So I just wanted to share that with you all. Till next time.